Oh, how I love thy law, it is my meditation all the day, all the night, morning through night. And I delight in the law of the Lord, and on his law I meditate day and night. Morning Meditations with C.J. Marshall.
Good morning. I want you to think about this morning of some of the hardest teachings that Jesus ever implemented. And Jesus' teaching is easy in one sense, easy to hear and easy to understand, but hard in another sense because some of the things Jesus has asked his disciples to do is something that will take a lot of discipline. It'll take a different mindset, a different outlook on life. One of these hard teachings is found in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 38 and following. Jesus says, "You've heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say that you do not resist the one who is evil, but if anyone slaps you on the right cheek, turn to him the other also. And if anyone would sue you and take your tunic, let him have your cloak as well. And if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. Give to the one who begs from you. Do not refuse the one who borrows from you." Jesus says, if someone slaps you on the cheek, turn and give him the other also. And I don't think Jesus literally means let people slap you, but don't avenge yourself, as Paul says at the end of Romans 12. Don't avenge yourself and leave it to the wrath of God. That's a hard teaching. And in fact, some of Jesus' teachings were so hard in John chapter 6 that many of his disciples left him and followed him no more. Maybe this was one of them where people were gonna have to count the cost. Is it worth it to follow Jesus? Can I live up to his standard? And then he even goes on in verse 43. You've heard that it was said, you shall love your enemy and hate your neighbor. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. So not only are we supposed to turn the other cheek and not retaliate and be humble and meek, but Jesus takes it a step further and says, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Talk about something that's hard. It's easy to understand, but hard to apply. It's hard to do. And notice Jesus' reasoning here in verse 45. So that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the good and on the evil, and sends rain on the unjust and the just. Jesus says we're going to do this if we want to be like this, the Father in heaven. So, yeah, some of Jesus' teachings are challenging to follow. They're hard for us to implement. They're not easy. It's not easy to love your enemy. But Jesus says you're going to be like your Father if you do this. And isn't that what we all want? Be like our Heavenly Father. Thank you for joining me for morning meditations. Maybe be like the psalmist that says, "Oh, how I love you all." It is my meditation all day.
Morning meditations, oh how I love thy law, it is my meditation all the day, all the night, morning through night. And I delight in the law of the Lord, and on his law I meditate day and